Okay, so we're going to derive the quadratic formula by completing the square. We're going to do one with numbers because that's something we know how to do, and then one without numbers, okay, just with letters. And that's a little bit more complicated because it's a little bit more confusing, okay. That's why this is going to try and help us understand what's happening here. Okay, so the first thing when we are completing the square, remember when we started completing the square, we made our little quilt pieces. Okay, I have 2x squared, which means I need 2 of my little squares, right? A box here, and then I need a box here. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, now that I have my 2 squares, how many rectangles go on each square? There's 4 per square, which is 2 per side. So I have 2 here. Oopsie, I don't want that one. And then 2 here. That's not a good one. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Now I got that there's going to be 2 by taking this value of A and dividing this by the value of A. And then taking that value of A of 4, that 4 now is the B, and dividing it by 2, so I have 2 on this side and 2 on this side to get x plus 2 as the length of my sides. Okay, I had to divide it amongst the 2x squareds and then by the 2 sides. So I divide by 2 twice. We're going to do that same thing over here. The only issue is that A is A and not 2. So I don't know exactly how many little boxes I'm going to make, right? How many quilt pieces I'm going to make. So I'm going to do my little quilt piece. Okay. But I don't know how many of them I have. I could have 3, I could have 4, I could have 2, I could have 1. I'm not quite sure. Okay. Then B is my rectangles, right? Okay, so how many rectangles am I going to have on each side? I don't know. But how is it related to B? It's half of them, right? Because if I had, so let's say here, right, 8 of these, 4 went here and 4 went here. So how did I know to put 2 on this side if I had 4 of them? I took half of them, right? And I took half of them here. So here's what this length of the side is going to be. It's going to be x plus, I take that b value. Since I don't know how many little squares there, I have to divide it by a, and then I need half of them. So that's the length of that side, is x plus b over 2a. Which is what I did here. I took 8, I divided it by a to get 4, and then I took that 4 and I divided it between the 2 sides, and that gave me the x plus 2. Okay. Now, this, how many little squares am I missing here? I'm missing 4 here. And how many am I missing here? Missing 4 here. Okay, let's see how the 2 and the 4 is related. To find that this is 4, I could just draw them in and it's easy to look. Okay? Or I could take the length of the side. What is the length of this side? 2, and what's the length of this side? And I can multiply them by each other, right? Okay? So that would be 2 squared, right? What's the length of this right here? b over 2a. And this is also going to be b over 2a. So if I square this, that's what I'm missing. I'm missing b over 2a squared. No, this is going to take a while. That's for that missing piece right there, right? Okay? So I'm missing 4. So let's draw what we have so far. So far we have the length of the sides on this side, f of x, equals my value of a, which is 2. So I have 2 of my little squares, times x plus 2, the area of that square squared. Okay? Then we need to find what we're missing, how many little boxes we're missing. I am missing 4, but I have 2 of them, so I'm missing a total of 8. Okay, and I have 5, and I'm missing 8. So what am I missing total? Missing 3. I have 5, I'm missing the 8, so I'm missing 3 total. Okay, now I have to do that same thing here. Okay. Do I know how many of these little boxes I have? No, that's my a value, right? This one was clear because it was 2. The a value was 2. So that's how I multiplied the 2 and the negative 4 to get negative 8. This, I don't know how many there are of them. So I need to multiply this by a. Okay, so we're going to do this math really fast. I'm going to square this. So I just need to make sure I square everything. So b is going to become squared. 2 squared is 4. And a squared is a squared. And then I multiply it by a over 1. I'm going to multiply straight across. I'm going to get ab squared over 4a squared. You kind of want to keep them alphabetical. Okay, then we're going to simplify, because I have an a on the top and 2 a's on the bottom, right? A squared on the bottom. So that I can just cross one of them out. And I'm going to get b squared over 4a. And that's what I'm missing from the boxes. Okay? But let's remember, I didn't just miss this. I had to use that 5. I had to do 5 and then minus the 8 that I was missing over here. So I need to take this that I'm missing and subtract it from that c to get this missing blank. Okay. So then I have f of x. Let me move this down a little bit. F of x equals my a value, which I don't know. That's the 2 right there. Times the x plus b over 2a, which is the length of my side, squared. That's a squared. Then I have plus c minus b squared over 4a. How are we doing? Okay? Okay. I know this part was a little confusing. We had to simplify all this stuff. Okay, but you got the concept because you did it here easily. This is a little bit more complicated because there's all of these variables that kind of confuse us a bit. Okay, the key is that you kind of got the process. Now, we need to combine these two things. That means I need to find a common denominator. Okay, so how do I make this 1 4a? How do I make c have a denominator of 4a? Yeah? Multiply the top and the bottom by 4a. So I need to multiply this by 4a and this by 4a. Okay, so I'm going to get f of x equals a times x plus b over 2a, the whole thing squared. Then I'm going to have plus 4ac all over 4a, and then minus b squared over 4a. Okay, now we're at the exact same place that we are here with this one. Okay. This is vertex form of a quadratic equation. This right here is also a vertex form of a quadratic equation. Okay. So remember when we talked about the axis of symmetry being x equals negative b over 2a? Right there, right? We can kind of see that already. Okay. Okay, from this now we're going to solve. We're going to solve this. So I need to plug in 0 for the y value, because we're looking for the x-intercept. So we get 0 equals 2 times x plus 2 the whole thing squared minus 3. Anyone know that first step I would do to solve this? We're not going to square it. That would make it more complicated. I want to isolate that x squared. Plus the 3. Okay? We need to isolate, we need to get this by itself. So I have to add the 3 to both sides. So it's going to give me 3 equals 2 times x plus 2 the whole thing squared. Okay. I'm going to do that same thing over here, except for I have 2 values here. Okay? So I have to subtract this one, and I have to add this one. So I'm going to subtract the 4ac all over 4a. And then I have to add the b squared over 4a. So now I'm going to put these all over 1. So I'm going to get b squared minus 4ac all over 4a. Everyone see how I got that? I just put the b squared first, then with the positive one first, then minus the 4ac, and it's all over 4a. And that equals the a times the x plus b over 2a squared. Okay, now on this one, I still want to get the x squared by itself. What do I need to do? Divide both sides by 2. Very good. Okay, 2 divided by 2 will become 1, and I just get 3 over 2 equals x plus 2, the whole thing squared. Here I'm going to do the same thing. The a, though, is where that 2 was, so I'm going to divide both sides by a. Okay, when I divide a fraction by another number, it just goes on the bottom. So I'm going to get b squared minus 4ac all over 4a, and then there's another a, so it's 4a squared. And it equals the x plus b over 2a squared. Any questions over that? Yes. Yes. Give me a second. Now I'm going to solve this. I'm going to square root both sides. Okay? X plus 2 squared, and then I square root it, just cancel those out, and I just get left with the x plus 2. This stays like this because I don't know the square root of 3, and I don't know the square root of 2. Okay? But I do know there could be a positive one and a negative one of it. So that's why it's plus or minus 3 over 2. Whenever I square root something, I need a positive and a negative. Okay. Now I'm running out of room here, so I have to scroll down a little bit. Can you go back? Sorry. Tell me if I'm going too fast, you guys. Where? This is radical 3 over 2? We're all good? Okay. So on this side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to square root both sides. Okay. When I rewrite that, though, I'm going to get the square root of b squared minus 4ac. I'm going to rewrite it up here, the b squared minus. Okay, so I'm square rooting that. Don't need to rewrite this. This is the same thing you just had. Okay? This is what we're going to rewrite right here. Okay? When I square root this side, I still get left with x plus b over 2a, right? This, when I square root this side, the top I can't simplify at all. It's still just going to be b squared minus 4ac. But the bottom, I know the square root of 4, and I know the square root of a. Class, what's the square root of 4?
2.
And what's the square root of a squared? Just a. But I also need that plus or minus in front of it. Any questions over that? We're getting so close. On this side, we had x plus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 3 over 2, right? Now what do we need to do to solve this one?
Plug it in.
How do I get the x by itself? Subtract that 2, right? It's positive 2, so to get rid of it, I have to subtract it. And I'm going to get x equals negative 2 plus or minus 3 over, the square root of 3 over 2. Okay. So let's apply that same process to this side. So what am I going to have to do over here? Very good. Subtract that b over 2a. Okay, so that's going to give me x equals. Okay, they both have a common denominator of 2a, so I can just stick them all over 2a. So it's going to give me negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you derive the quadratic formula by completing the square. Everyone give yourselves a hand. Good job. We did it.
I knew this last year.
Good. Then it's just a refresher. Okay. So now, we're going to use the quadratic formula. To memorize the quadratic formula, because this is what we are going to actually be doing for our homework. Okay. Shh, quiet, please. So, here's the quadratic formula. We get to sing it, which is super fun, too. Okay? Did he? Oh, good. I sing it, too. I'm going to warm up a bit. Okay, to get ready. Got to get myself ready. Okay, got it, I'm good. Okay, choir, I'm going to do some, I've done choir before, yeah. Okay, I know. Okay, one more, do that. Oh, okay, so there we go. Okay, we're going to sing it. It's the song Pop Goes the Weasel. Okay, for those of you who forget the Pop Goes the Weasel, like All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey thought it was all the fun. Pop goes the weasel. Okay, that's all we know, right? I don't know, I'm sure there's more to it, but that's what we know. Okay, but that's all we need to know to sing our quadratic formula, okay? So quiet, I'm going to sing it first, and then you guys can join me in singing. Okay, so this is how it goes. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Thank you. So that's our Pop Goes the Weasel, our quadratic formula. Okay? You guys, we're going to sing it all together. I'm going to do it one more time, and then we're going to do it together. Okay? So that you guys can memorize it too. Because you need to memorize this. Okay? I want you all singing it in your heads while you're taking your test. Okay? So here it goes one more time. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We can add some crescendos and some decrescendos through there. Okay, I can give you guys some good conducting. Okay, I'm doing some great intercurricular activity here. We're doing choir and math together. Like, it's amazing. Okay? Choir, yes. Okay, we're doing two different sides of our brains. We're just getting everything together. Yes. Yes. Not the song, you're not going to sing it, but you have to memorize this for your test, yes. You don't have to derive it, but you have to use it. Okay, so now once again, we're all going to sing it together, okay? Okay, ready, begin. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Very good, very good. Okay? That was really good. Okay? Want to sing it one more time just to make sure we've got it? Yes? Negative actually means the opposite. So if you plug in a negative, it becomes a positive. If you plug in a positive, it becomes a negative. Okay? Okay, so let's do this again. Okay, ready? Begin. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Oh, very good. We're doing great. Okay? See, we got it in our heads. We're singing it. We're doing great. Okay? We can start training for The Voice, or maybe America's Got Talent in a little bit. Okay? Okay, so why do we need to know this, and how do we use it? Okay? Here's how we're going to use it. So we've learned how to solve a quadratic equation by factoring, and by graphing it, and by square rooting it. But all three of those have issues. I can't always factor because not everything can be factored, for first one. Second one, graphing it. Sometimes my answer is going to be imaginary, and I can't figure out what the answer is if it's imaginary. Okay? The third thing is square rooting. Again, sometimes our answers are going to be, you can't square root the quadratics. Like this one, we can't square root this because it has the negative 2x. You can only square root it if it has an x squared only. Okay? So we have to find another way to solve all quadratics, and that's what the quadratic formula is for. Okay, so here's our a, b, and c. The first thing we need to do is to write our equation in standard form. Then we can find that a, b, and c to plug into our quadratic formula. So we need ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So very good. I need to move the 2x over to this side so it's equal to 0. So I have to add the 2x to both sides. That's going to give me 3x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. Then we need to identify the a, b, and c. We should be able to see this. The a is the number in front of the x squared. So my a value here is 3. Any questions over that? Okay, the b value is the number in front of the x. So that's the 2. The c value is the constant, the number by itself with no variable. So that's the -1. And you want to make sure you take -1, not just 1, because it is negative. Any questions over that? Okay, then we need to use, we're going to plug it in A, B, and C into the quadratic formula. Okay, so we need to write down the quadratic formula and sing it again because we need to memorize it. Okay, we have to go a little bit slow because I have to write and sing at the same time. So let's everyone begin. X equals -b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, that kind of sounds like a solo to me, and as much as I love to sing, I kind of want to be in a choir. I really enjoy singing with other people, not just by myself. So let's try it again and see if I can have other people join me. Okay? If not, I'm going to have us all stand up and we're going to have to add the hand motions to our song. Okay? Okay? Okay, ready everybody? Ready, begin. X equals -b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Sorry, okay. So here is our wonderful quadratic formula. We're going to plug all these wonderful numbers right into it. And we're going to get x equals, okay, it's a -b, so when I plug in the 2, it becomes a -2. Then I have plus or minus. The b again is 2, and we're going to square it. And then minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is -1. And it's all over 2 times my a value, which is 3. Any questions over that? Now we just simplify it. So we're going to get -2 plus or minus the square root of 4. 2 squared is 4, minus 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times -1 is a positive, because a negative times a negative makes this positive 12. Okay? And it's all over 2 times 3, which is 6. Because a -4 times a -1 is a positive 12. Okay, then we're going to get x equals -2 plus or minus the square root. 4 plus 12 is 16, all over 6. Okay, class, do you know what the square root of 16 is?
4, so
Yes.
-2 plus or minus.
Okay, so it's going to be x equals -2.
Plus or minus 4.
I'm going to split it up because I have a positive 4 over 6, and I have the negative
Minus.
4 over 6. Because this is a plus or minus sign there. Any questions over that? Okay, so that's going to give me x equals -2 and positive 4 is 2 over 3. Not 2 over 3. Whew. 2 over 6, right? -2 and positive 4 is 2, and it's over 6. And then -2 and -4 is -6 over 6. Yes, now we have to simplify. And get x equals 1/3 and -1. Any questions over that? Okay, we're going to do another one. Okay? Please write down everything that I write down, you guys. I know it's a lot of work, but you're not going to remember what happened when you go home to try and do this on your own. Okay? So write it down. I get it. Okay, next one. Again, we need this equal to 0, so I need to move that x squared over to the other side. So this is going to give me x squared minus 3x plus 1 equals 0. Ruby, what's the a value here? Very good. The number in front of x squared is 1. Cindy, what's the b value? b equals, make sure you're putting negative 3. Justin, what is the c value then? Okay, then we're going to plug it into our wonderful formula, which means we get to sing it again. Yay! Okay, so we're all going to do it again. Okay, so we don't have to keep doing this. Ready? Ready, begin. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's so good. You guys are doing great. Okay, I think we need to go on one of those acapella, what is it, acapella shows where we sing and we get to dance too. We could totally bring PE into our curriculum too. It would be awesome. Okay? Okay, so we get x equals negative b. Okay? And then when I plug in negative 3, it makes it a positive 3. Then plus or minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4 times my a, which is 1, times my c, which is 1, and it's all over 2 times 1. Yes. No, because the 3, oh yes, this would be, sorry, negative 3, correct. Oh my goodness, thank you, negative 3 squared. Because the b is negative, negative 3. When I plugged it here, it became positive. It stays negative inside though. Good job. Okay? So then this is going to give me x equals, now I'm just going to simplify. 3 plus or minus the square root. Negative 3 squared, a negative times a negative will make that positive. Yes, Madeline? No, because 4 is negative and you're subtracting. 9 minus 4. And it's all over 2. Any questions over that? Okay, it's going to get x equals 3 plus or minus the square root. 9 minus 4 is 5. All over 2. Can I simplify this radical at all? No. Can I add or subtract anything? No. I'm done. Okay. So that's my answer. X is going to equal 3 plus the square root of 5 over 2, and then 3 minus the square root of 5 over 2. Any questions? Okay, next one. Same things. First steps are the same. We're going to add 12 to both sides to make it equal to 0. 12 is not like terms with any of these, so I just put them in order. 2x squared plus 8x plus 12 equals 0. Frank, what's my a value? All right, the number in front of the x squared is 2. Okay, Daryl, what's the b value? In class, what's the c value? 12. Okay. That's going to give me x equals -8 plus or minus the square root.
Oh, we're not going to sing this song.
Oh, I forgot. Oh my goodness. Thank you for reminding me.
Really, John? Really?
John enjoys our singing.
Having him sing by himself.
Yeah.
No.
He can sing by himself.
No, he wants you to enjoy the fun too.
Yeah.
Okay? He's an inclusive. Okay, we're all going to sing it together. Ready? X equals -b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, x equals -b plus or minus my square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, you want to keep writing it because the more you do it, the more you'll memorize it. So you get x equals -8 plus or minus the square root 8 squared minus 4 times my a value times 12 all over 2 times 2. Okay, now let's simplify everything. X equals -8 plus or minus the square root. 8 squared is 64. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 12 is 96. And it's a negative, because a negative times a positive is a negative. Okay? You guys need to check this work right here. Make sure you have a negative when you need a negative and a positive when you need a positive. That's going to be a common mistake, is you're going to have the wrong sign. Okay? And it changes everything. The difficulty with the quadratic formula, it in itself is not hard because you're just adding, subtracting, and multiplying. However, there's a lot of little steps that you can make a mistake on. So you need to check your work and be very precise. Okay. So that gives me -8 plus or minus the square root -32. We should be concerned right now. What's wrong with my problem? Very good. This is going to be imaginary, right? It has a negative inside my radical, so it's going to be imaginary. Okay. So we need to factor that 32. Okay, let's factor the 32. We're going to get 32, which is 4 times 8, 4 times 2, 2 times 2, and 2 times 2. So I have 2 pairs of 2's. Okay? I'm going to have to write it over here. So I'm going to get x equals -8 plus or minus 2 and 2. So that's 4 on the outside. And because it has a negative inside here, I need that I. I need the imaginary number. Okay? Then I need this 2 to stay inside the radical. And it's all over that 4. We're not done yet. Okay? Anyone know what else I can do to this?
Divided by 4.
Reduce it all, right? Okay? 8 can be divided by 4, and 4 can be divided by 4. So I have to reduce all of these and divide them all by 4. That's going to give me x equals 8 divided by 4 is 2, negative 2. Plus or minus 4 divided by 4 is 1i, radical 2. All over 1, or I can just have it implied there. So that's my solution to my quadratic equation. That tells me when I graph it that my parabola will never touch the x-axis. It's going to look something like this. It's facing up because the a value is positive, and it won't touch the x-axis because it has an imaginary solution. Any questions over that? Okay, we're going to try one on our own. Okay, E. You guys are going to do E on your own. Okay. It has g of x equals this. Remember, you're looking for the x-intercept. So this g of x is just 0. Equals 3x squared plus 4x plus 3. Now you get to solve. No. Okay, we're going to do number 9 from your homework now. Number 9 from your homework. Okay, your homework, you guys? Oh. Your homework, you guys? You're only going to do numbers 9 through 14 tonight. 9 through 14, because we didn't get through all the homework, all the notes. Do 9 through 14, yes.
Isn't it the same as the...
Same thing we just did. Okay, good. Okay, so solve using the quadratic formula on number 9 right now.